First of all, I want to start by thanking all the fans, obviously, that made the trip and came to support us. So that was huge and that was awesome. I want to give Coach Wilson a lot of credit and their team a lot of credit. They played extremely well today. They've played a lot of people like that, really the last couple of years and especially this year. So I'm really proud of our guys. I would describe it as gutsy, resilient, and battle through a bunch of different things. Right now I think we have one offensive lineman playing the position that he played at the beginning of the season, Brian Gaia, and we've had a lot of injuries. I think we're on our fourth and fifth offensive tackle situation right now. We lost Paris today, we lost McGovern today. Got Bates playing tackle, for the first time this week. Had never really repped it at all since he's been here. And then we had Gonzalez, who hasn't played a whole lot of football. Pretty much, played the whole game with him. So I'm proud. I'm proud of the guys. Nobody panicked. Obviously, thank you. Obviously, the defense played really well with all those turnovers. We weren't able to capitalize on them early on. The fourth down stop was huge. And I thought our special teams were really solid. So we were able to get it at halftime, kind of get the offensive line settled a little bit. They were blitzing almost every play and stemming every play. We didn't make plays on the perimeter early in the game. Either could have thrown better balls or just didn't make plays. In the second half, we were able to do that, and it opened it up. They were putting the corners on islands and playing a high-risk, high-reward defense, and with an inexperienced line not playing positions that they normally had played, it was a good plan. It was a good plan on their part. So, in the end, we found a way to get a win on the road. It's hard to do. Pretty interesting stat. First 6-game Big Ten winning streak since 1994. There's been a lot of good football played here, so I'm proud of that. And then, I'm not going to read all the first career fumble recoveries because there was a bunch of them. So just really proud of our guys. I aged probably 5-6 years, so I'm already an old 44-year-old as it is. So that's probably not good for me or Steve or Jack Ham in the booth.
James, can you speak to Trace's toughness, and did you consider him at all, any time, taking him out of the game?
Yeah, I think you always consider. I wanted him to take a knee a couple times. He's a tough sucker. He really is. I wanted him to take a knee a couple times so we could make a substitution, and he kind of waved me off and hobbled down the field. And he is tough. He is smart. He's resilient. He's a playmaker. The guys believe in him. They really do. And our guys believe in Tommy as well. So we got a really good situation, and we're blessed. We're blessed to have two quarterbacks that we believe in.
Excuse me. Could you talk about your persistence in
getting... Where are you at today? Where's this coming from? Where's this coming from? Is this coming from a good place? Coming from a bad place? Are you in a dark point in your life? Is it wet? Is it? Where's this coming from?
Well, I'll ask you.
Okay, I'll judge.
The persistence in getting and staying with Saquon, trying to get him the ball so much, wasn't a lot of running room, and how that set up the flea flicker.
Yeah, I wouldn't describe that as a rainbow or a soft toss, a lob. I wouldn't describe that as a wet blanket either. That was a fair question. What you can't do is, when you're struggling in the run game, is to abort it with a young offensive line and just start throwing it every down. That's the last thing you can do. So I thought Joe did a really nice job of continuing to mix that in. One of the things that we did in the second half is we were running away from the blitz in the first half, and they were slanting the front. And in the second half, we ran into the blitz and fanned the offensive tackle and guard out into that, got a hat on a hat, and now they're slanting away from where we're going. So I thought that helped us. And then they did a good job. They were going a lot of edge pressure, and then a couple times when we would look to the sideline, then they would bring the edge pressure from the other side. So they had a good plan. You got to give them credit. And I thought, the most important thing that we did is we didn't panic. Our defense kept us in the game, so we didn't have to get in a situation where we're chucking it every down. And again, it was a gutsy win on the road. And what I'm really proud of our guys is, and I don't know if I've already said this or not because I said it in the locker room, as you look at our wins, every win is different. And when you have a young, developing, growing team, that's an important trait, is to find all different ways to win. And that's what this team is doing right now. So I'm proud of them. I really am.
What kind of shape was Barkley in early in the game? It looked like he got dinged up down by the goal line in the first quarter. And have you ever seen a stat line? I haven't seen the stats, but it's got to be like 34 carries for 64 yards. Have you ever seen anything like that before?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. I thought he played really hard. I thought they had a good plan. I thought the run late in the game where him and then Gonzo and some other guys pushed the pile,
guys, yeah.
that was huge. I mean, that was, you guys all saw that thing that got posted this summer where he was squatting the Lash building. That was that right there. That showed up on that play. But we talk about Trace's toughness, Saquon Barkley's toughness as well. And I thought, again, one of the things that we have this year that I didn't think we had in the past is guys like Trace that may be getting frustrated and getting banged up, and guys like Saquon that getting knocked all over the place, getting frustrated. You never see that from them. Their body language is awesome. Their leadership and demeanor is awesome. And that's something we've worked really hard at as a team. So that leadership has been really important.
And when you talked about waving Trace off, or him waving you off, was that the second 14th throw way down the field with Blacknall where he got up slow and he really got drilled? Do you remember?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah, there was just one time he was hurt. I was like, go down, and he went like this.
Yeah,
I went down.
yeah,
No,
okay.
what the down and distance was, I'm not sure.
Okay.
James, you guys were committed to playing a bunch of guys on defense. You really have been all year, but how much did that come into play with guys being fresh again late in the game?
Yeah, I think it's helped us all season. I know people have different philosophy there, and they just play their best players all year long. I think it's really important. We've always believed in it. My 6 years as a head guy, trying to develop depth in programs that you need to develop depth. And I do think once we started doing it, I really believe in what it does for you in the fourth quarter, what it does for you late in the season. So just really proud of our guys and our coaches for sticking with the plan. And we've got a lot of players that are gaining experience, which is going to help us. It's going to help us this season. It's going to help us in years to come.
Is it tough to stay committed, though, when you maybe fall behind and you're still running all those guys out there?
Well, I think if you were putting guys in that you didn't feel were ready, or if you felt there was a significant drop-off, yeah, but that's not really the case. We're rotating guys in and feel good about the guys that are playing. I mean, I think John Reed's a great example. Right now he's leading our team in reps, and you got to be careful there. You got to be careful. He's playing on special teams, playing on defense. So you gotta rotate guys in. His reps are too much right now, to be honest. We got to do a better job of managing that. But overall, I think we've been great.
James, you talked a lot this week about managing the offensive line and the different scenarios that you thought about, and obviously the two that happened today, maybe you didn't plan for, Paris and Connor. Will Freeze didn't travel. What went into that decision, and how do you think that group played between the first half and the second half?
Yeah, Fries. We didn't travel him. We didn't think based on some situations that he has going on, and what the offensive line situation is at this point of the season. We were committed to Bates. We were committed to going with Bates at that position, and then the next step would probably be Sterling and some other things like that. So there's a number of things. He's still not out of the question now with now having another injury. That'd be a conversation I have with him and his dad. So far, so good. They're committed to playing and doing whatever they got to do to help the team. But that's a conversation at this point of the season you got to have.
Two more. Deshaun Hamilton had a nice day. He's not been a big factor in the passing game over the last few weeks. How good do you feel for him staying with the course and coming through some big plays?
I think he's been a big factor all year long. We don't have in years past where you're just playing three receivers and they're getting huge numbers. We're rotating a lot of guys, getting a lot of touches. It makes us difficult to stop because they can't key in on anybody. But Deshaun has had a big year for us this year in so many different ways: leadership, production, work ethic, blocking, receiving, the whole deal. So I wouldn't characterize it the way you just did.
James, how does the offensive line situation now compare to the linebacker situation you had earlier in the season?
Similar, very, very, very similar.
Do you know where you go now, starting tomorrow with that group?
Yeah, with what we ended with for right now. Obviously, there's going to be some discussions and things like that. We're going to watch tape to see how guys played, and if we feel comfortable with them staying at those spots, You know, like we just talked about with Fries, do we need to pull his shirt and play him? You know, I think what will probably happen is be something similar to what you saw today, but there, you know, any more injuries, we're going to have no choice. You know, we're going to have no choice. Or we're going to be pulling some guys. You know, we might have one of them walk-on tryouts.